Hello everyone, it's Jen, and today I am going to show you how to use your iColor 560 printer to create your own digital papers. And this is actually really fun. So I have a laser printer. The iColor 560 is a laser printer. And while I use it as a white toner printer most of the time for everything that I've showed you so far, it is also actually just a standard laser printer also. You have to reconfigure the toners that you have in there, but outside of that, you can use it just like a regular printer. So that's one of the great things about it, is it can do all of these different things, including being your everyday printer if you want it to be. So I have this cute paper. I actually got this print from Creative Fabrica, and you can, I'm sure, resize it so that it fills up the entire print. I didn't need it for the project that I'm making today, so I was just being quick because it's a 12 by 12 size, and then so I just had it fit on my page. But there are ways to go into other programs and stuff that you can crop it, and then you can make it fit the project or your full paper if you want it to. I am actually going to use the paper to add some paper, this cute pattern, to the back of a wood block. So this is a wood block that I actually bought. You can cut out your own. I've owned a scroll saw for 3 or 4 years now. It's still in the box. So I talked to my husband and I was like, we have to get it out. So it's coming out, and then I'm going to show you how to create some of your own cute little things like this. So this would be what some people consider a shelf sitter, or your tiered shelf decor. So this is what it looked like on one side. It's super cute. I have a couple of others that are different sizes that are also really cute. But this one was this cute plaid on this side, and then the whole rest of it is painted white, which was fine, but it was kind of boring because my tiered shelf actually sits on my table, so you can see it from both sides. And so I thought it would be cute to add something that gave it, made it look cute from the other side as well. There was also a logo and stuff on it, and so this just covered that all up for me. So one of the reasons that I wanted to try this today is because I heard through my research that laser printers are really good for creating your own scrapbook pages, your own pattern paper and stuff like that, because it doesn't bleed when you add things like Mod Podge to it. So that is the reason that we're going to try this today. And I did want to say that the other thing that I was thinking about, so when I was talking to my sister about this, and I was like, this is what I think I'm doing because I really want to try it. I think it'll be really fun. She mentioned that we, in the past, I have made a project and then the next year wanted to recreate it, or had somebody else ask me about it, and then I couldn't find that same paper again. It had either been discontinued or had just sold out or whatever that is. So by making your own, or even just printing it, like I said, I got, this was a whole big bundle on Creative Fabrica. You don't have to worry about whether or not you are going, whether or not it's going to sell out, whether or not it's going to get discontinued year to year. This is especially, I think, helpful for people who have a small business. And then the other thing that I personally think is great is this is just regular laser copy paper. I didn't have to use a cardstock, and so I'm not having to buy that more expensive paper either. And as you can see, it worked really well. I don't have any bleeding through. I don't have any bubbling. I don't have anyway, we'll look closer at this as we go on, but I'm really excited to show it to you. So I am going to jump in, show you the supplies that we need to do this, and then we will get making the project. The supplies needed for this craft are really simple. I'm using a brayer. It's not necessarily a requirement. I just find that it's really helpful for smoothing the paper after you've added the Mod Podge. A pair of scissors, Mod Podge. I am using the matte. I just like the look of that better than the glossy. You will want a wood block of some sort, your print from the laser printer, a craft knife, a file, and a paintbrush. You can do things differently. If you don't have a craft knife, you can use a pair of scissors and then trace the shape and then just trim it up really well. And you can also use a piece of sandpaper or a sanding block. I just for smaller projects like this, I really like to use a nail file because I think it's easy. So the process for printing this is very similar to any other print job that you're going to do. I am in the iColor Pro Rip Essentials, and you can see that I already have my plaid over here. If you have any questions about using Pro Rip Essentials, I will add a link to the bottom of this, like the description of this video, where you can find my video on Pro Rip Essentials. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and select this, add it to my canvas here. This is literally all I have to do. It is added it as big as it can be. So what I want to do is here in print settings, to make sure that I have things set up correctly, I am changing my print mode here to plain paper. That's what I have it set as right now. And that is automatically going to change my like paper type and stuff. It gives you more options than if you had it set up for like overprint or underprint, where it thinks you're going to need a different type of paper. So my toner configuration is CMYK. I'm just using a plain paper. I have my paper in tray 1, and down here you can see how it's supposed to be set up. We've got our black in the front, yellow, magenta, and cyan. And this information is also in the, when you're changing out your toner cartridges, it's right on the top of that. So then here, I'm just going to click my print, and then it's going to do all of that, and it's just going to send it to the printer. It's that simple.
Now here all I'm doing is I'm removing that white toner cartridge and replacing it with the black cartridge. And that's all you need to do to have your printer set up for regular standard printing. Here we have our paper, just regular copy paper, laser copy paper installed into tray 1. Now the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to trace. If you are going to cut out your shape with a pair of scissors, this is the way you would do it. Go ahead and trace around it. Make sure you're tracing the right side so that it sits on there correctly when you cut it out. I actually am using a different method, and so as you can see, I'm not cutting it exactly along the tracing. Grab your Mod Podge, add a little bit to the block itself, and then just place the paper on top, and then you can use your brayer to really help smooth. For this next part, it's important to make sure that your Mod Podge is really nice and dry so you don't rip the paper. This is how I like to do projects like this. You don't have to. You can use your scissors and cut it out, but I'm just using my True Control knife and then following along the actual wooden edge. I feel like when the Mod Podge is dry, if you have a nice sharp True Control knife, it will just go right along that edge pretty easily, and you do not need to have it perfect because, as you can see, we're going to use the nail file and really clean up those edges. This is why I prefer a nail file over like a sanding block or sanding paper. I feel like I can hold it a little bit better and it really gets into those corners and stuff. But all we're doing is going away from the paper toward that wooden edge, and it will just really smooth your paper so that it just like cuts off right along the edge of that wood block. If you really want a distressed look, you can come up higher on the paper. I don't want that look for this, so I'm trying to go straight along the edge. I'm trying to not really rough up the paper that is on the top surface. And it works really, really well with just a nail file. So I recommend having one in your craft stuff, and you'll probably find a variety of ways to use it. So now that we have that done, dust off the surface, and then using a paintbrush, you're just going to add a very thin coat of Mod Podge to the top. This does not need to be a heavy coat. What this does is it makes it so that the paper is protected if it, happened to get any moisture flipped up on it, or if you want to be able to dust it off, things like that. This will just protect that. So once you have that full surface covered, again, you're just going to let it dry. You can speed up that process using like a blow dryer. That will help with that. So at this point, our block is finished, but I did want to show you kind of up close how adding liquid, even Mod Podge, to this print did not run the ink at all. So this is just kind of an up close look to help you see that the colors really stay nice and vibrant without any bleeding.
And that's it. It was so easy to do this project. Like, really easy. And I love how it turned out. I think it's really cute. So now it can just sit with my other little shamrocks, and it'll look really cute now on both sides of my tiered shelf. I love that it doesn't require like a lot of supplies. You don't need a lot of things. You may already have all of this stuff at home. And if you have this printer, I highly suggest making your own patterned paper. I think it would be really fun to do like your actual own like scrapbooking. I was looking at recently, I've been kind of looking at like the different like junk journals and bullet journals and stuff like that. And while I don't want to have to like run out and buy paper for every project, the idea of being able to just like print something like this, and I don't know if you've seen like the junk journals, but oftentimes they're like just tearing it and stuff anyway. I think that this is a fantastic option for things like this. I do feel like a lot of people that own this printer are small business owners. And so that's one of the reasons that I wanted to show like this different feature that maybe you haven't thought about yet, because it gives you like another thing that you can do with it. Printing your own digital paper or printing your own patterned paper, and then being able to, like share that if you're creating like bundles. I think that that would be really cute. Like if I was really doing this myself, right? Like if I was the one who had cut out this block, I could offer that to people like, hey, I have these, cute shamrocks. You can get the shamrock with the paper already. Like, you could put together like a little bundle so that people could just make and take it and do it themselves. So I think that's another really good option. And you don't have to do everything how I did it. I am a fan of, kind of trimming it close, sticking it down. I really am a huge fan of the True Control knife. Honest to goodness, I worked at Cricut when this thing came out. And when they first brought it to us and they were like having us try, I was really like, why do we need a different X-Acto knife? And then I used it, and I am not exaggerating when I tell you I probably own 7, because I have them like they're in my drawer in my kitchen. They are everywhere. My daughter uses them for her clay stuff. Like we use them everywhere. I'm a huge fan, but I think that they work really well for things like this, just going around the edge. You can cut it out. You just run the risk. I feel like if you're trying to cut it before, you can run the risk of trimming it too close, and then you have like part of the block that you might not have wanted exposed. If that happens, that's okay. I would just recommend, sanding a little bit farther in and giving yourself a distressed edge if that's what ended up happening. But if you have any questions about this project, feel free to drop in the comments. If you found this project fun and you liked this tutorial, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and I will catch you next time. Bye.